That home is now worth $1.35 million.
Wow. Where are great places to buy at the moment?
My personal favorite is Metro San Diego, so like the Bullseye. Property's gonna be worth like $1.6 million.
Wow.
Cut this part out. I'm not a good employee. Inside of it is chicken shawarma, French fries, pickled radishes. It's almost all of the fixings.
Yeah. It just tastes so good, man.
We did 2 hours of free sandwiches.
Wow.
A great way to like a restaurant could do this is using Marvelous Muncher to come do a video spot in the future.
What's up, everybody? We're out here in Kearny Mesa. Let's consider Kearny?
This is Kearny Mesa.
Kearny Mesa. Yeah. I'm here with Listed by David, a realtor that's here in San Diego that's killing the real estate game. I always tell David that I see his sign over by the gym, and every time I look at it, I go, "Hi, David. How are you doing?" But he never responds to me, so I decided to get him on the pod, so at least I can talk to him in person here.
Hello, Vince.
Hello.
Good to see you, man.
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
Thanks for jumping on today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the time.
I'm really excited to be here, and I'm glad that we're at one of my favorite restaurants.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to be one of your first guests on this podcast.
Dude, my first realtor guest that we have today. But before we get into more stuff about you, let's talk about the restaurant a little bit. So we're at Tahini, right? Authentic Middle Eastern street food. Yes, and you actually set this place up, so why did you pick this place to feature?
Tahini is really important to me because it was actually the start of my true and real estate career. I was working at ResMed for a long time as a project manager in software development. I would drive by, and I love Middle Eastern food. I love falafel, I love tahini and hummus and baba ganoush. And so I drove by one day and I was like, I gotta go check this place out.
Yeah.
And I was welcomed with like open arms, and it was a very warm environment. It was actually next door where Finn John currently is.
Okay.
That was their original location.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why there's a giant hood over there.
Oh, so what is it? What was this then?
This was Ramen Ryoma.
Oh, okay.
And then they didn't do too well.
Okay.
And then the pandemic completely wiped them out.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this became their flagship location. They also have a location at UCSD.
Gotcha.
And then they opened up Finjan. There was always a goal to open up Turkish, Arabic, coffee shop that has Moroccan influences.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I mean, their stuff is great there too.
Yeah, it is.
I know. One of the reasons why I came here too is because, of course, Triple D. Guy Fieri was here.
Yeah.
And I think I came here before he showed up, but then I came here maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I got his, what was it, the Esquire Pita?
The Esquire Pita, that's my favorite.
What's in it then? Tell me.
Okay, so inside of it is chicken shawarma, French fries, pickled radishes. It's almost all of the fixings.
Yeah.
But the number one thing is it's like a California burrito,
right?
But chicken pita.
Dude, that's like the signature. The San Diego thing is the Cali's anything.
Yeah.
They throw fries in it. It just tastes so good, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So now, so we're here at Tahini. So if you guys want to check this place out, really good food. Yeah. Recommended by David.
Yep.
But now, David, tell us a little bit more about yourself, man.
So I'm a real estate agent here in San Diego. I run a team with my business partner, Andrew Greer, and we run Real Estate Pro Team San Diego.
Okay.
We call ourselves the Real Estate Pros. It's other realtors know. Sorry. Cut this part out. Other realtors think we know. So
that's the slogan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Other realtors think we know.
Okay. So if you know, as you guys can tell, we're in a restaurant, right? There's people around, there's just customers, so sounds gonna be a little crazy sometimes.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, all right.
It's gonna start again.
I know it is. And so if you say they think what is an example? What was the reasoning behind that slogan?
A lot of realtors will talk about what your property is zoned because they'll look at your title report and they'll say, oh, this is R1 zone. But in San Diego, R1 zoning doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's actually subcodes called RS1-7, RM2-5, RM3-6, CCMX, CCUPD. There's all these different zoning codes.
Yeah.
And those zoning codes actually say what you can truly do with that lot. So if you have a single family home in North Park, next door, there's probably a 7-story building.
Okay.
It's because you're RM3-6 or RM2-5, and you can actually build what is now a single family home into upwards of 30 units.
Oh, really?
We specialize in that.
So you specialize in that kind of building, those kind of things?
We specialize in knowing what you can do with the property, and we're led by a developer. Andrew Greer, my business partner, is a developer who builds this stuff.
Okay.
So he's actually got, I think, I know 8 doors for sure under development. He's selling another 100 some odd unit development that in Golden Hill.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of deals that we're putting together for some family offices, if you know what a family office is.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long you been in this game, man?
I started in real estate in 2015.
Okay.
I took a small break to support the family, and then I reignited back in 2019 when I left ResMed.
Okay.
And it's been off to the races ever since.
Really,
Yeah.
really. 2019. So that was like right before the pandemic and all that stuff, right?
Just
did
before.
Did that like cause a bunch of issues with with that career? I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy because it just happened right then and there.
So I was smart enough to have 2 births into real estate.
Okay.
Not smart enough, but luckily enough.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is the first time I didn't have any savings. The second time I had savings.
Gotcha.
So I knew what my runway was for
Right.
what I had to do to support the family, and I knew my runway for what I had to do to like afford living in San Diego.
Yeah.
So I had that saved up. And luckily, I had that when March 6th, the world shut down. The blip happened.
Yeah, the blip, literally. Thanos snapped his fingers, right?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. And that's crazy because years ago, so before I started doing social media, I was working for a property management company. Worked for them for a little bit and I decided to quit.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any, I had some runway. But like looking back at it, the only thing I would change is maybe have more runway so I can like push this out. Because when it's something that you're passionate about, you want to put in more time.
Yeah.
But in order to put more time, you have to have the savings available for you to do those things, right?
Yeah. It's an investment in yourself. And most people don't know that. They don't understand what a burn rate is or a runway is, but my exposure to the software development world and the tech world really helped me understand that. And also, I was like working on some stuff for Y Combinator, if you know what that is.
What's that?
The Y Combinator is an incubator that's a big incubator in Northern California.
Okay.
And I was like thinking about doing a startup and things like that. And that just preparing for Y Combinator helped me understand what a runway was, what a burn rate was, so that I can kind of take my business more seriously.
Okay.
When I really realized that I wanted to do real estate full time, I put all that stuff to the side and did this long term. So,
Okay.
and yeah, it was like I needed like 60 grand, so I had 60 grand, and I burned through it the first year.
Oh, really?
But I knew that if I had, if I had a few sales, then I could have a little bit more time.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that extended my runway until I had consistency, and ever since then, I just haven't stopped.
Okay. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
So, like, I mean, going into more real estate stuff, right?
Yeah.
People talk about the market. Is it a good time to buy, bad time to buy, all that stuff. I'm sure you get the question all the time.
Yeah.
As of today, February 4th, I know where this pod won't come out for a few weeks.
Yeah, right.
Is it a good time to buy, man?
So nobody has a crystal ball. Anybody that has a crystal ball is saying nonsense.
Okay.
Nobody can tell you what the future is going to hold. And really, like, life is short. What I say is, you have to decide if it's the right time for you. And that's what I did. I own a home in Clairemont at 7% interest, and it was the perfect time for me to buy in my life. I had the money, I had the means, and we had the need. Once I was able to see that we're capable of being able to afford the home, it made all the sense in the world. That home is now worth $1.35 million.
Wow.
And so, like, it's about time in the market, not timing the market.
Okay.
And that's a big factor because you can't refinance a house you don't own. You can't refinance a home you rent. You can only refinance if you live there and you took a chance.
Gotcha.
So it's really about deciding introspectively if it's the right time for you and your family to purchase. That's the truth.
What were some questions you asked yourself to be ready to make that purchase?
Can I afford the monthly payment?
Okay.
Can this property be worth more within my lifetime? Will I be able to afford it during a downturn in the market? And also, if I didn't live here, could it rent out for what my mortgage is going to be? How could I rent it out? It was very much a how could I rent it out. Whether it was midterm rentals, corporate rentals, Airbnb, or just even a long-term rental, could I afford it? I'm just thinking about the worst case scenarios because worst thing that can happen is you lose the property. But outside of that, what else could happen?
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, but I think there's a lot of people in that same position, right? They think about, I mean, me, myself, me and my fiance, kind of same thing too. It's like, what do we ask ourselves in order to be ready to make a purchase? Because it's like one of the biggest purchases you're ever going to make, right? And then obviously as life goes, you buy more and more things, but thinking about it, because those are some questions that we have to ask ourselves, right? Are we ready? Can we afford it? Can we rent it out? But obviously you're there to kind of guide people who are having those questions, right? So where would you say some properties are? Take different properties here in San Diego. Where are great places to buy at the moment? What do you think?
Oh, dude, my personal favorite
Yeah.
is Metro San Diego. So like the Bullseye, anything along Balboa or Clairemont Mesa Boulevard.
Oh, really?
That's like the best. All the way to the ocean, all the way down to Terracena.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's the best. Because think about it. If you were to go anywhere in San Diego, where's the place that's 20 minutes from everything?
Right.
Along
Agree.
Clairemont Mesa Boulevard to Balboa.
I agree, man. Because I used to live in Eastlake, right? I was all the way over there. And getting just to the highway and then getting anywhere else, right? It's like an additional 15, 20 minutes sometimes, depending on traffic, depending on the lights you hit. So it's like I love the fact that if you're in central San Diego, literally everything's 20 minutes away. 20 minutes away. And so, but are there a lot of, I see like a lot of properties getting built, like in North Park, for example, or like apartments, basically. I don't see a lot of that going around in this area. I mean, is there a reasoning behind that? You're talking about zoning and all that stuff too.
Well, there's a big factor because North Park is in a specific part of the city that where they want high urban density.
Yeah.
And they've reduced parking restrictions so much, and the zoning has changed to accommodate that. So basically, simply put, wherever there's a major transit stop, if you're within 1 mile from it, you're in a transit priority area or a sustainable development area.
Okay.
What that means is you can basically add, where there's one unit, you can essentially add multiple units by right.
Okay.
The reason why they did that was because if there's major transit, if there's walkability and bikeability, then that enables more people to live somewhere without needing a car.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the idea behind it. Clairemont is a little bit more tough because it's a little bit more sprawled out.
Gotcha. Yeah, it is.
There's less major transit stops in Clairemont. And less bikeability, less walkability.
Okay. That makes perfect sense now.
Yeah.
Because, within the last year or two, like North Park's been popping up with so many apartments.
Yeah.
So many. I have a client over there and they tore down along I think it was along 30th.
Yep.
Like that whole space in front of them, they tore that down, and now it's a big. And then there's gonna be retail on the bottom too, so they're really trying to make that happen.
I was just at Senior Mangoes, dude.
Oh yeah.
There's like, I went there. So I lived in Normal Heights for like 3 years.
Okay.
And nothing was there. It was nothing more than 3 stories was there. Okay. Dude, this is a 7-story building on Adams Avenue and 30th.
Okay.
I saw it and I was like, what's
going on?
happening to the city?
What in the world?
Yeah. It's changing a lot.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Did I ask, why did you get into real estate? What was the driving factor?
I'm not a good employee.
Okay.
So for starters,
Says a lot.
I'm not very good at working for anybody or listening to anybody tell me how to live my life or how to. Like my judgment has gotten me this far in my life. So I don't typically like my judgment to be questioned. And then the other side of it is, if you look at all of the people that are millionaires and all of the different routes you can take to become a millionaire or wealthy, real estate is the number one. It's the most stable. And it's the most realistic one. So for me, real estate was one of those things that what I wanted to. It was a place where advocacy was absent in my life. My parents owned a home in Los Angeles, and I still send letters to the owners. But they owned a home in Los Angeles. It was my childhood home with my brothers, and my parents wanted to move out of California. Or I'm sorry, not out of California. They wanted to move out of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Our house got robbed. My brother got robbed at gunpoint. Like a lot of bad things happened in 1 year. 9/11 happened. So there was just a lot of stuff that kind of made my dad want a little bit for us to move out. But they only owed like $30,000 on the home. This is a home in the San Fernando Valley, a very valuable area. A realtor came knocking one day and said, "Hey, I can sell your home for this amount." Never asked my dad how much he owes, what his plans were, where they want to go. Never gave him a consultative approach. My dad's an immigrant, he's educated, but he doesn't know that you can basically go and rent out this property with a property management company. He doesn't understand. He didn't understand at the time, but so many different wealth factors were at play for him, and he was just like, okay, I just sell this property and I move to another property. And so little did he know that property is going to be worth $1.6 million.
Wow.
Later on, he sold that house for $293,000.
Jeez, man. What year was this?
2002.
Dang. And that's also, do you feel like the realtor at that time didn't have the knowledge to really give him, hey, this is going to go up in property? Or was it, hey, let me just try to get the money real quick? Why do you think that happened?
Either one of those.
Okay.
And that's a big part of why I started a team with Andrew. I interviewed a bunch of teams in San Diego because I was a solo agent at the time and I wanted to see where to go. But I began to realize not a lot of teams teach realtors how to build wealth or how to help their clients build wealth. And so that's why we started Real Estate Pro Team, is to help our agents become investors, help them become landlords, and help their clients do the same. Because I never want that to happen to any family that looks like me or doesn't look like me. Again, it's just not right.
Yeah. It sounds like it was like knowledge, right? That got you wanted to expect like get more people the knowledge behind selling, investing, all of that stuff too. But also you just wanted to help people. Is what it sounds like. Because I think, you think of real estate. I think some people have the same kind of impression that I have, right? It's kind of scary, right? It's actually really scary. It's not just kind of scary.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. You don't know what's going to happen. The market can go up and down, and you're like, wait, did I just drop 100K on this house and then I'm losing money every day, right? Like there's just so many things going on. So you're taking the approach of let me educate you and let me help you, which I think for a lot of people they love that. They love that, man.
I've had a good response. There's a few agents in San Diego that take this approach and they're only successful. There's nobody that takes a consultative approach that tries to have their clients win and that is only looking at real estate as an investment tool that's not successful.
Gotcha. How do you get leads for houses? How does that happen for you?
So I have multiple. First, it started with sphere of influence.
Okay.
Like my first 3 deals were from ResMed and from college and from high school. So because I let everybody know that I was in real estate and that.
So you're just telling people around you that you already know. Okay.
You're supposed to make like a list of 150 people you know and call every single one.
Okay.
And the idea is let everybody know, and then but also like have a conversation with them, get to know them, catch up with them, see how they've been doing and things like that. And really building that relationship. So I would say very much so I'm a relationship broker more than anything else.
Right.
But most recently, I started 3 years ago. I started farming Serra Mesa.
Okay.
Where you see my magazine.
Yeah. Your face on the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've now upgraded a little bit.
Okay.
We should go see later on what's collected.
Are you on the billboard?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, imagine.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
No, imagine.
Okay.
No, I've upgraded from a magazine
okay.
to a bus bench now.
Okay.
Soon billboard.
Is it only one bus bench?
Right now, one, because all of the other ones are taken by my competition.
Oh,
But, things will change.
Eventually, it will. Definitely, man. That's you basically hit on something really valuable that I don't want people to miss out on. The fact that you went to your sphere of influence, 150 people, because I think a lot of people start businesses and they want to grow it, but they don't go to the people that they know first. They just kind of like start posting on social here or there, and they expect people to come their way. Yeah. When you already have trust with people that you know, right? They trust you as a person. They're your friends, your family. So why wouldn't they trust you with helping them make a sale for real estate or in whatever they want to do?
Exactly.
Right.
It's one of the easiest ways to get your first sale.
Right.
All these people know you. They know where you're from. They know where you live. Or these are all your friends. They know who you are as a person. So they know that if you're a good person, they know how you're going to treat them through the sale of their home. They're not going to call somebody from the TV.
Right. Even though like some people do that because that's all they know, right? Yeah. But if they knew someone that they trusted already did it, they would go to them first. Yeah. So.
Dude, actually, that brings up a good point. Like, if you're a realtor and you really believe in yourself, you really believe in your job, it's your responsibility to reach out to your network and your loved ones to be like, hey, I'll take care of you better than any stranger.
Else. Yeah.
So it only makes sense to do that. It's kind of your job to do this,
I mean, for anybody, right? Even this restaurant, even like for like social media, like for me and clients, right? You want to reach out to people that you know need your help because you have the skill set to help them. So why not tell them about it, right?
Exactly.
Because if you don't, then they're going to go to somebody else that's going to do a sorry job for them, spend a lot more money on it, and then it's like, I could have helped you in the first place, right? So that was kind of like the first tip you gave for that. Is there anything else any advice you'd give for like beginning realtors that want to get in the game more and do more?
Yeah, absolutely. It would be to take yourself seriously and be very stern with your time and be very specific with who you surround yourself with. There's a lot of negativity in this industry and there's a lot of negativity in this world. And negativity is like it's like the pit of despair, It just never ends. It's a black hole. So be very, take inventory of who you surround yourself with, especially in the beginning, and be very careful who you choose as a mentor. Having a good person as a mentor is very good. I had a really good mentor when I started. Like, he's a great guy. He's a great dad, great friend of my brother's. And had I not had somebody that was, legit and, cared about me, I could have been totally taken advantage of.
Right.
And so be very wary of who you surround yourself with.
Right.
And don't get into the drugs and don't get into the party scene because what you see on TV, that's not real estate.
You're talking about Selling Sunset?
Yep.
All of those TV shows?
Yeah.
Okay.
None of that is real.
Right.
And this is a serious job. You're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars of people's money.
Right.
So it's very important to take what you're doing not with a grain of salt.
Right, right. I mean, if it's your career, you have to take it serious.
Yeah.
How are you not gonna, like you talked about, right? How are you not gonna tell people about it? That's you taking it seriously, right? You farming Serra Mesa, that's you taking it seriously, right? And I know that you hear a lot of real estate agents that go knocking on doors still, right? Is that something that you do still, or is it more so?
Only in Serra Mesa.
Only there, okay.
Because I don't like anybody knocking on my door. I'll obviously like open it and say hello and everything, but I'll only go to Serra Mesa because so many people know me there.
Yeah.
And so like the door opens with open arms almost. I'll be like, hey, what's up? And sometimes they're like, get the heck out of here.
Who are you? Right.
But I'll have like the magazine with me, or like I'll have a flyer with me or something.
Yeah.
I do a ton for the community. Estate planning, Easter egg hunts. I do like marketplaces for the moms. I do community garage sales. Like all of my energy gets poured into Serra Mesa.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is to build community. People see that and they value that. They get it. They're like, okay, this guy's actually trying, and it's like genuine. I'm at the Easter egg hunt. Making sure the kids get candy and toys and stuff. And then I'm like at the garage sale, giving garage sale signs. Like, I genuinely care and I'm trying to help.
Why did you pick Serra Mesa in the first place?
Do you know San Diego Sandwich Company?
I've seen them over down there. Yeah. Why?
So I used to go there, and the lady, like, she was just sad one day, and she was just telling me about how she may have to close down because her clientele.
So this is the owner of Sandwich.
San Diego Sandwich Company.
Okay.
And she was just like, I'm an empath, so I can like feel people's feelings.
Yeah. What am I feeling right now?
Happiness.
You're right. I feel good, man.
Yeah, exactly. She told me about like how she might have to like, her business is just not doing well. The local community was like 90% of her business, and they just didn't know that she was there and that they were open because the pandemic kind of decimated that. And nobody drives to Serra Mesa to eat, they go to Convoy District, So my buddy Patrick has the magazine Kensington, so he has a very similar thing. And I saw that because I was living on Adams Avenue, and he would mail it to me. And I thought, I could do this in Serra Mesa. Nobody else is doing this in Serra Mesa. I wanted to do it in Point Loma, but I don't live in Point Loma. I don't want to live in Point Loma. I don't have any desire to drive out to Point Loma all the time. So Serra Mesa is central.
Okay.
I would love to live in Serra Mesa. And it was around the corner from my office. But the community needed me. The short answer is the community needed somebody like me to reignite the neighborhood, reignite community, and remind people that, hey, these businesses are here and they need you.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So the sandwich, they're still around, right?
Dude, she's doing really well.
She's doing real well now? Okay. So what did you do for her exactly? How did you help her?
She was on the cover of the magazine. Okay. I did, on the third month, she was on the cover of the magazine. I did a huge social media blitz for her, all for free. And then I also, she, in coordination with one of the churches, we did 2 hours of free sandwiches.
Wow. Wow. Very cool.
And then we did that. And then I think we did that twice. And what else did we do? Oh, we put like a coupon in the magazine too, like over several months.
Yeah. And the coupon was dedicated to Serra Mesa, or the magazine is dedicated to Serra Mesa.
I am sending it to 5,000 homes in Serra Mesa.
Gotcha. Okay. That's surprising because I don't know. Do people still read magazines?
If you get it in the mail, it's like a cute little, it's a cute little magazine. It doesn't look like a coupon book.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time and money into it, so it looks real.
Is that the one where you're in the back too?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that too. See, it works to some degree.
Yeah, exactly. See, people do read it.
Right. No, I only saw it because I saw your face. That's why I was like, I recognize that guy. So
I have to be on it somewhere so that there's a little bit of. It's a brand awareness.
Right.
As well.
And that's basically the main thing, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people expect to be successful without having the brand awareness around what they're doing. If your product's good, people will come.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean you'll keep the customers coming. You have to just tell more people about it.
Yeah.
You're doing the community event. That's just bringing, because you think about it, people in that church, or the church event, they're going to say, oh, wow, these sandwiches are good. And then they might go back, right? And they might tell their friends and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people don't think about those community things in that way. They may think of, oh, I'm just going to give food away for free.
Yeah.
But there's so much value in just doing those things, right?
It's a marketing strategy called stacking. And a great way to a restaurant could do this is mailing, using Marvelous Muncher to come do like a
feature?
video spot,
Love
a feature.
It. Yeah.
And then they mail about you, and they let their people know that you came by and this was what you did. Like they write a little blurb or something, a postcard, and then you post about the post, and it's literally just one leads to another. It's a daisy chain of events that continue to remind people of what's going on in their network.
Yeah. It's like compounding, literally exactly like compounding, you know? And you will have to do all those things. When people come to me, they ask for like marketing advice, right? It's not just one thing. Yeah. It's one thing and the next thing and the next thing. Because one thing, you're going to reach a certain audience, but how do you reach a bigger audience? You do the next thing too, right? And it sounds like a lot, and people will be like, oh, that's too much for me. But if this is something you're really passionate about, that you want to see succeed, this is what you got to do. That's really what you got to do.
Okay, think about Nike.
Yeah.
You know, if Nike was to build a store tomorrow for computers, you know that what it would look like, right? That's because all of the money Nike has spent in making you aware of that, and all of the energy and time as well. So at a basic level, if these guys, this multi-billion-dollar company, is doing this and it's working, at a very molecular level in Serra Mesa, you can do the same thing. Right.
That's great advice. You know, I'm glad the San Diego company, what is this, San Diego Sandwich Company?
Exactly.
Okay. I'm glad they're doing well. You know, I've seen them in the corner. I'm like, oh, okay, I've wanted to check them out, so now I'll have to.
I think they have like a really good buffalo chicken and a good pastrami.
I love buffalo sauce. That's like my favorite.
It's a sandwich shop. Don't expect like, you know, Rubicon Deli or something like that. It's a sandwich shop. But like, if you want to have a good sandwich, you want to get on with your day, that's the place to go.
That's a good place to go.
Oh, and she bakes cookies too.
Oh, what kind?
Homemade cookies,
I love cookies.
chocolate chip.
Okay, that's like the classic one for her?
Yeah, and they're like 3 for $1.
Oh my god.
So I get like, you know, the gallon bags, the zipper bags. I'm like, fill it up, Cindy, fill it up.
This is for me, nobody else. That's awesome, man. On top of that, so like, I know we talk about advice for real estate agents and something like that. If I was a real beginner right now and I'm just getting in the game, what's the first thing I should do?
After your license, the first thing I would do is make a list of 150 people.
Okay.
You put it on a spreadsheet. And split it up by first name, last name. I learned that the hard way.
Okay.
So first name, last name.
What do you mean? What happened? Why?
When you upload it into a CRM later on,
gotcha.
It doesn't split it up. It thinks the first name is, you know, Vince. Lymburn. So it's going to think that, and then it's going to be Vince Lymburn.
Gotcha.
You know.
Okay. So that's first.
That's first. Make a list. The second thing is call everybody.
Okay.
Check in on them and say, hey, it's David. Hey, Vince, it's David. How have you been? That's it. What have you been up to? And only just ask for stories, not answers. You know, what have you been up to? Where'd you guys, you know, go for Christmas? Things like that.
So you're building the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Don't go in for the kill right away. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. So build the relationship and just call them back next month. Like, hey, I'm gonna follow up with you next month to see how you're doing. At some point during that conversation, they ask you what you've been up to.
Right.
Because people reciprocate. It's a natural behavior in interpersonal communication where people will reciprocate what you give to them. So you be generous, they're going to be generous back to you. Gotcha. Maybe not right then, but they will be eventually. So build relationships, nurture your relationships, and go do open houses.
Okay.
Like dude, I'm successful in this business so far. I'm still doing open houses every single time I get a chance.
Yeah.
So this weekend, I'm doing an open house. Last weekend, I did an open house. Every open house I do now, because I'm so good at my craft, I'm picking up at least one hot lead. Dude, if I did 4 open houses a month, sky's the limit.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
Go do an open house.
Okay.
You know, and
so make a list, call everyone on the list, build that relationship, do open houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then follow up with those people.
Okay.
And you know, close them. Basically, help them. Those people are at the bottom of the funnel. Remember ClickFunnels?
Yep.
This little tip right here.
Yep.
They're that drop coming out. You know, and so those people that are showing up on the middle of a Sunday when it's sunny outside for an open house instead of going somewhere beautiful in San Diego, they're ready to buy.
Okay.
So, and if they have an agent, obviously just help them where you can, but also you don't necessarily need to steal them from another agent, but help them where you can. Maybe they're not happy with their agent. Make an impression.
Yeah. One quote, you just tell me that one quote is, a rising tide raises all ships, right?
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
You know, you help somebody out, they'll help you out. They have a broker, they have an agent, whatever you do. If you're there to help and you have the right intention, like you're saying, everyone succeeds. Everyone wins at the end of the day.
That's called an abundance mindset. And that's what we really preach on our team. That's what we really preach on our business.
Yeah.
We try to enrich and enrich people's lives, be positive to people.
Yeah.
And anytime some negativity happens, we really try to put like the Ghostbusters sensor, on it. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we end today's pod, man.
Sure.
I want to ask you a couple food questions.
Please,
Because I know.
David.
Oh, well, that's the question I did want to ask. If you weren't doing real estate, I already know the answer, obviously. But if
Yeah.
you weren't doing real estate, what would you be doing right now?
You and I would be traveling the Middle East right now, looking for the best shawarma.
Right.
We would be traveling Southeast Asia, and just I would carry on Anthony Bourdain's legacy, and just where basically culture, politics, and food meet. I would carry that on, and try to make awareness and raise awareness to what's going on in the world by just showing. I can't say this better, but showing people what there is out there, and like food is a very universal language, dude.
Right.
I think that if we all were to focus on how, dude, you can hate somebody, but if they got a good meal over there, you're gonna go over there and eat that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not gonna let that cloud your judgment or anything like that.
Right.
It's very much gonna be something that speaks to you.
And you might eat it and be mad at that person still,
Yeah.
but the fact that it tastes good, you're still going to enjoy the meal.
Exactly. So
Okay.
that's what I would do. Yeah.
You would be doing that, okay?
Yeah.
And so if people want to follow you, they want to connect, how can they connect with you, man?
Just add me on Instagram, listed by David. You can learn more at listedbydavid.com.
Okay.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Dude, follow me. That's it. Marvelous Muncher, marvelous.marketing.online. I do that. I do a lot of marketing stuff on there too. So just trying to build these connections with people here in San Diego, all over SoCal too. Like there's so many people trying to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we need each other. That's the thing. We're here to help each other out.
You know
Let's
what?
make connections.
We were talking before the podcast, and you said like, why did you choose tahini? And when I was starting out in real estate, these guys supported me, Moody and Osama, and we should get them here and just say hello real quick.
Yeah.
But, Moody and Osama supported me a lot.
Okay.
And now I support them a lot. And I supported them before too, but
Right.
entrepreneurs and local businesses need to support each other because we don't have anybody else.
No.
Nobody else is helping us out.
Yeah.
So it has to be an uplifting community. All
Right.
the ships are individual businesses.
Yeah.
And together we can rise the tide.
Love that, man. Love that. Thank you, Dave, for being on today's podcast,
Yeah,
man. I
it's my
appreciate
pleasure
it.
to be-
1, 2, 3.
And most of all, don't forget, be marvelous.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man.
My hands
That
are
was
full.
good.